the thing, the lady was talking greasy to me. She had no right to talk greasy to me. And then she told me that 50 didn't have the power to do anything, but they using his name to like push the whole documentary. And that's what it was about.
Oh, in particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It.
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you've said you weren't a part of that lifestyle. You weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations. I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else. But I did feel uncomfortable with the way you would present the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it, just that alone.
So you didn't realize
as much stuff was coming. Like, when I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them. And it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like, when people don't remember being violated for 20 years.
This is what Jaguar Wright had to say about 50 Cent's documentary. According to her, the project was incomplete from the start and left out far too much. When asked directly about Curtis Jackson, Jaguar pointed out that 50 himself admitted this was only the first installment. He reportedly said there were hundreds of hours of footage, possibly more, and that a massive amount of material was confiscated from Diddy's homes during the HSI raids that never made it into court or the documentary. That leads into why Gene Deal says he walked away from the project entirely. According to Gene, he felt set up. He described an interaction with a woman involved in production who he claims spoke disrespectfully to him and told him that 50 Cent did not actually have real power over the documentary. Instead, she allegedly said that 50's name was being used mainly to promote the project.
I know why you wasn't in it, man.
Well, first and foremost, you know, I thought I was going to be in the documentary at first until I started talking to that director. I think her name is Stapleton. I don't know her name. I don't know, man. Me and 50 talked like 45 minutes. The producers had been calling me and everything. So this one night, 50 called me up and, you know, they got him on the phone. Me and him was just talking. We was talking about old time shit, down with Black Hands, sit down with, you know, with Puff Kids, the whole Puff situation, and this documentary that he's going to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So I told him that I was going to, you know, have Kirk and Tim. Kirk will be the one who talk about the business part of it. Tim would be the one who talk about the growing up phase with Diddy and everything, like, and over there working in the record industry with him and stuff like that. They was like family. And I was gonna talk about, you know, the street stuff, what was going on with Bad Boy, you know, with the security, with Wolf, with the city college, with, you know, the time that I knew about when I was with him up until about early 2004 or something like that. But basically the streets and then the traveling with him and the atmosphere and everything. And then go back into the Notorious Big stuff with the Tupac and the whole 9 yards, all the stuff that I knew, you know what I'm saying? So we was talking and he sounded like, yo, listen here, they gonna spare no expense with this whole documentary. So I said, all right, cool.
From Gene's perspective, that was a red flag. Looking back at the timeline, about a month after Sean Combs was arrested in September 2024, 50 Cent, and Netflix announced they were developing a documentary that promised never-before-seen footage and would expose what they described as Diddy's lies. Around that time, 50 publicly stated in interviews that he had been collecting information and evidence for years. According to Gene, 50 personally reached out to him and tried to convince him to participate. Gene says many people later asked why he wasn't featured in the documentary.
And then she was calling me like I was lying. I was like, yo, who do you think you talking to? You know what I'm saying? And she was talking about, you know, there's no way nobody paid. Nobody what? I say, first of all you people come with these documentaries and stuff, the first thing you tell me, y'all tell these people out here that y'all don't pay, and y'all pay. You give, if you can make a picture look like $10,000, $15,000, You know what I'm saying? You can sit here and tell me that you're gonna pay me for my time sitting right down here with y'all. You understand? So then, one thing led to another, and I was like, all right, well then, F you. I spoke to 50, and then she said 50, and this is exact words that came out her mouth. 50 does not determine what goes in and go out of this documentary. And he definitely don't pay. He determine what somebody get paid. It's not his documentary like that. I was like, oh, so if it's not his documentary and I spoke to him like that, I don't need to be doing nothing with you because I'm doing this on the strength of him. But you gonna pay me if I do it. So it went back and forth, you know what I'm saying, for a little bit, and then they had Kirk Burrows giving me calls and everything like that. What are you calling me for? You know what I'm saying? I'm not. Get out of here. I know what kind of dude you is anyway. Me and you cool and everything, Kirk, but don't call me about no business with this stuff like that. And then what I found out is that he was making a deal, cutting a deal for himself as well as Tim.
Initially, he believed he would be involved. That changed after he spoke directly with the director, whom he identified as Alexandria Stapleton. Gene recalled that he and 50 spoke for roughly 45 minutes, and he believed everything was moving forward. Gene began preparing seriously.
This new interview by 50 that went viral, where he revealed that he still got unreleased footage.
I seen an interview about, he said that he had a lot of footage had to be down, the documentary had to be downsized. You understand? I don't really believe that because a documentary is the documentary. And they could have had 45 minutes, they could have had an hour, to each one of those. You understand? They left out certain things. He said they even left out the one about Sarah Chapman. You understand? And for whatever reason, he probably left out a lot of other different stars too. Situations that they could have spoke about. You understand? I have a problem with the documentary, and I'm just gonna let you know that the reason I have a problem with the documentary is that they know that they took my idea. You understand? They know that when I came to them, I laid out what they should do and how the documentary should be. You understand? She could say whatever she want to say. I talked to those producers before I even talked to her. They wanted to know what I had, what I was bringing, my pictures, all that stuff like that. And I told them about me, Tim.
He organized all the material he had and even contacted Kirk Burrows along with other music executives who had publicly said they were wronged by Diddy. His goal was to make sure 50 had everything necessary to tell the full story. However, when Gene spoke directly with the producer, he says that's when everything changed. He claims it became clear that Netflix was using his name and image to promote the series, without any real intention of allowing him to fully present what he knew.
But what Fifth was doing was, he wasn't budging. I give him credit for that, you know what I'm saying? They're like, hey man, it wasn't even about the money. It was basically a response from his team, basically like, listen, we doing this on the strength of, we want people to get their story out. We want people who really was affected by him to tell their story. We don't want to base this on money. If we base this on money, then you kind of sell it down, you know what? So a lot of people, when you see them telling their stories on that DVD, that's why I give the authentication of it is so, he made sure that you was only here to, if you want to tell it, tell it. I ain't trying to put nothing in your pocket. I ain't trying to incite you or coerce you to tell nothing against this man that didn't happen. If you gonna tell it, tell it. If you got something to say and you really want the world to hear it, say it. I'm not gonna pay you extra to do it. And I gave them respect for that. And basically, they were basically like, man, this not money motivated. You know, we're not moving numbers around just so people.
Gene says the producer accused him of lying and dismissed the idea that payments or wrongdoing ever occurred. That interaction convinced him the truth was not the priority. From Gene's point of view, this is why 50 Cent has since started working on a second season that he plans to release independently on YouTube. According to this narrative, 50 no longer trusts Netflix to handle the story properly.
Isn't over. I agree. Like, that's the thing. The story's not even being told. Because in order to tell the actual whole story, you would have to include everyone that is involved. But no, This is about saving the industry and blaming it all on Diddy. Saving the industry and blaming it all on Diddy. Okay, Diddy's going to jail. He's going to do his time. I don't know if I don't know what that appeal is looking like right now. Because see, the one thing that all of this documentary shit is doing is definitely fucking up his possibility for an appeal to get out early. Especially with the judge and them and the appeal board having to look at the footage of him sitting there with Mark Agnifilo, pretty much working on how to fix the trial.
And for him to be watching the feds watching him.
Yeah, filming the feds. Watch.
Filming.
Gene also pointed to a recent viral interview where 50 revealed he still has unreleased footage and admitted the documentary had to be heavily downsized, leaving significant material on the cutting room floor. Once Jaguar Wright actually watched the documentary, she said all of her concerns were confirmed. According to her, none of the people she believes were closely connected to Diddy's inner circle were mentioned at all. Names like Clive Davis, Jay-Z, and Oprah Winfrey never appeared in the project.
What they needed to do in this documentary, the whole objective of this documentary was to blame it all on Diddy. The devil made me do it, blame it all on Diddy, and the rest of the industry is nothing like this. Like when Curtis Jackson sat there in his interview with Robin and sat there and said, I did this because I don't want people thinking that the hip hop community is okay with this kind of behavior. I don't want them thinking that, we're just going to be silent while all of this is going on. Like we're okay with this kind of behavior. And my thing is huh? So now you speaking for all of hip hop, and all of hip hop is uncomfortable with this. Meanwhile, you got people like Ja Rule who, on the low key, allegedly, Gene Deal has exposed for having his own nude tryst freak-offs.
Jaguar made it clear that the issue was not about singling out any one person, but about the fact that the full story was never told. In her view, you cannot tell the truth without naming everyone involved. She argues that the documentary places the blame entirely on Sean Combs, while quietly allowing others to distance themselves from responsibility. According to Jaguar, the series avoided the most critical question of all. If Diddy was allegedly being investigated under RICO-style theories, where were the co-conspirators?
The complete and utter truth comes out. 3 things happen. The entertainment industry collapses completely. Millions, possibly billions of advertising dollars don't get made. People go broke. Companies go under. That's why they hate me. Not because I'm telling the truth on people, because I'm telling the truth about the system. And I'm showing people the reality that the only thing that matters is that dollar. These entities, these companies, they don't care about none of these people. They don't care about none of these victims. They don't care about the perpetrators. They don't care about the prey. Shit, half the time, they're encouraging the predator. They don't care. It's all about the money.
From her perspective, the documentary did what it needed to do to satisfy the public, but not to expose the entire system. Jaguar also questioned how the public is expected to believe that Diddy could have allegedly harmed hundreds of people over decades without anyone around him knowing.
He announced he was going to be doing the documentary December 2023 with Netflix. And the star footage that you use to get people to re-upload or resubscribe to Netflix to make this the #1 in their TV shows division for almost 2 weeks straight. Beating out Stranger Things. How much stranger is that?
I'm not Becky.
This footage didn't even exist when you said you were going to be doing this documentary. So we've got a videographer, a rogue videographer that has this very, very, very explosive, you know, very explosive footage of him literally sitting on camera, planning how to go after survivors, how to poison the jury pool, how to fix his trial in advance before he's even arrested. I mean, like, is anybody not forgetting when Mark Garrett, when Garrett, no, not Garrett Goose, when Mark Agnafilo was sitting there talking to the sons in the hallway, and they're sitting there filming, and he's sitting up there. Yeah, well, see, what we got to do is we got to go and we got to put countersuits on all of these people. We have to create lawsuits ourselves. He's sitting there talking about creating lawsuits to affect public perception. He's talking about that with the kid.
She argues that it defies logic to believe one person could operate alone inside an industry built on teams, executives, lawyers, and enablers. In her view, if the complete truth ever came out, it would not just damage a few reputations. She believes it could destabilize the entire entertainment industry, threatening billions of dollars in advertising, partnerships, and media investments.
50 Cent, man, I hope you're walking on a straight arrow, man, because they waiting to see you fall. They want to see you fall so bad, brother. I'm talking about, man, I'll be in the comments and I'll be just reading it like, oh, 50 got his day comment. Like, why y'all niggas so upset about a pedophile? Like, it's stuff that y'all niggas don't. It's so many people, right, that's victims of Puffy that can't speak, that's sitting back like, shut the you know what I'm saying? Like, they basically saying, you don't even know half of it. If I was to come and say my story, not me personally, but I'm saying, I've heard that 2 or 3 times. If I tell my story, but no, I'm not trying to clout chase, I'm not trying to be a part of this, a part of that. And I'm like, hey, man.
Another major issue she raised was the timeline of the documentary itself. According to critics, when the project was first announced, Netflix did not yet have access to the footage that was later used as its biggest selling point. The documentary was announced in December 2023, yet the same footage was later used to drive resubscriptions and dominate Netflix's TV rankings for nearly 2 weeks, even outperforming long-established hits like Stranger Things. To some observers, that raised serious questions about how much was known and when.
First baby mama started following each other on IG an hour ago. Prepare for the worst. Jay-Z, Ja Rule, Roc Nation, Desiree Perez are out to get him out of the paint. Alert. Listen here. Everybody that it says, and Desiree Perez, all them people got dirt under them, bro. You understand? They got all them people got dirt on their fingernails. Jay-Z got dirt in his fingernails. You understand? Jay-Z was messing with young girls from our block. Tiring them. I'm putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm picking a side. Desiree, husband, was a former drug dealer that she turned on a whole cartel. All of them got dirt on them. And 50 got they dirt. You understand? 50 gonna know they dirt. Because 50 got investigators, he got people that's in the street. So if they go at him, listen here, I deem him like myself, 10 times the normal man. He gonna do what he gotta do. And the whole thing about it is they trying to retaliate on him for something he did to somebody else. I feel that it's something worth seeing. It's something worth coming around because all that shit is about to fall. All that shit that we seen in the industry, these demons want to have sex and turn little boys into little girls into little boys. That's just about to go out.
Despite all of this, 50 Cent moved forward with the documentary, fully aware of the risks. According to people close to the situation, he has faced significant backlash within the industry, with some labeling him a snitch and others allegedly attempting to damage his reputation. There have even been claims of threats and behind-the-scenes pressure aimed at isolating him professionally. Gene Deal has publicly warned 50 to stay careful and stay clean.
Work has a new Diddy documentary coming out, and this time it is coming from the perspective of Diddy and his sons. All time I thought we were about to leave Diddy in 2025. Well, this documentary is coming in 2026. And a lot of people, just like myself, are already not feeling this new documentary coming from Diddy's sons. A lot of people aren't happy about it and actually shocked that the owner of Zeus Network, Lemmy, is doing this Diddy documentary. But what a lot of people fail to forget is Lemmy and Diddy have been friends for quite some time.
Of his children arriving in court for day one of their father's trial in New York, hands gripped in solidarity.
Do you still believe your dad's innocent? How did you feel hearing that testimony? You apologize on behalf of your father. Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you still support your father's innocent? Your daddy does for you! Your daddy does for you for abusing women! That's wrong! You can have more!
The family, the foes, the joy, the pain, our voice, the loyalty, the betrayal, the high, the low, the love, the hate, the truth, the lies. And Diddy calling from Fort Dix.
This is a prepaid collect call from Federal Correctional Institution, Fort Dix.
When they released this trailer last night, there were so many comments to Lemmy and Zeus Network that they did not want to see this. A lot of people feel like this whole new documentary is just a PR narrative, once again being pushed by Diddy and his sons to try to clean up his image. And after hearing certain things on 50 Cent's Netflix documentary, we have to go back in time and remember what we were seeing during trial. Even when it came to Diddy's sons, Christian and Justin Combs, they both came on two separate occasions to trial wearing a free Sean Combs shirt. The first one to do this was Christian Combs during Jane's testimony, and you're not supposed to wear this stuff in front of a jury to try to sway their opinions. And the judge actually told him he had to leave and take it off. And then literally like a week later, Justin did the same exact thing. It was taken out of the courtroom by the judge. And we already saw the videos in the Netflix doc of Diddy talking to Justin saying he needed to push out certain content to control a narrative. During the trial, there were a lot of things going on that I could see that to me felt like it was just straight PR. Do you remember all of these people that were wearing the free Diddy shirts? And it was actually a meme coin that's on their shirt. It's money.
Suggesting that retaliation was inevitable. Less than a week after Gene issued that warning, Diddy's sons announced a countermove. Justin Combs and Christian Combs revealed a partnership with Zeus Network to produce a documentary focused on their family's side of the story. The trailer confirmed that Diddy himself would participate, which many interpreted as a direct response to the narrative surrounding 50 Cent's project. According to Gene Deal, this counter-documentary is expected to shift focus away from the allegations and toward attacking 50 personally.
They're going to try to get his baby mama stories. You know, they're going to try to get 50 baby mama stories. They're going to try to get girls that he probably dated, that he had problems and issues with and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to try to do the same thing they probably did to R. Kelly or Puff or whatever like that, and people tell their stories. You understand? But, you know, they're trying to retaliate on what he did. Let him go ahead, bruh. Because I think he's ready for it. You don't do this, and you don't do the stuff that he did or sign on to the stuff that he did with Puff. Unless you got your shit in order. Don't throw no stone if you live in a glass house. Don't throw no stone if you live in a glass house. I believe 50 ready for it. If they come at him any kind of way.
He believes the strategy will involve targeting 50's private life, including past relationships, baby mother conflicts, and any controversy that can be repackaged to discredit him. In Gene's view, this is not about clearing Diddy's name, but about changing the conversation and weakening the person who challenged the system. So the question remains, do you believe Diddy was acting alone, or do you think the industry is protecting someone bigger? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you want more deep dives like this, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to Drama and Brief, share the video, and support the channel. We break down the biggest hip-hop stories every week, and this one is far from over.